Come with me through the swamplands of Orlando, Florida, to a little-known place called Marshmallow Marsh. Sit on this log. Grab a roasting stick. It's chilly out, but the campfire is warm on your skin. Gaze into the orange, glowing embers as shadows leap and dance around us. Gather close and put on your listening ears as I tell you the tales of haunted Disney.
Tell me a story, darling, of haunted mansions, aliens, conspiracy theories, demons and Sasquatch, cozy and strange.
Welcome to Cozy and Strange, episode 5. I'm Aaron.
I'm Jessica.
Today we're going to be talking about haunted Disney.
Ooh.
I'm a longtime Disney person since I was like 3, but Jessica was new to the whole Disney thing.
First time Disney World was with you, and I was...
Yeah, and she was skeptical of the Disney magic.
Yes, I was in my 30s, I think.
Yeah, but I witnessed your transformation when you felt the Disney magic.
Yeah.
Because she walked in the park and she's like, meh, I don't know. And I was like, I know what'll get you. You were a big Little Mermaid fan.
Oh, when I was a child. Yeah, so it was like 1989. I saw the movie.
Yeah.
Then I wanted the movie.
Yeah.
And...
This is pre-DVD, pre-streaming.
Yes, this was VHS.
VHS, oh my God.
And all Disney movies were about $27. I remember how much it was. And I got an allowance of $3 a week at the time. So I'm 7.
And you had to work for it too.
My dad was like, yeah, sure, you could get the movie if you save your money. Well, he didn't actually physically give me the money. He kept it.
He was the bank of
He
dad.
was the bank, yes. And when we went to the store, I would ask, oh, do I have enough yet?
Yeah.
And, oh, not quite yet. And so now I don't know if it was just they didn't have the money or what.
Yeah.
But eventually that day came where I finally got The Little Mermaid.
You played it until it broke probably, right?
Almost, yeah.
Every day,
And,
all
yeah,
day.
It was, yes.
You had Little Mermaid in your heart, right?
Yeah.
And I knew that. So
Yes.
I was like, we got to find this Little Mermaid
So we
ride.
were there, Not So Scary Halloween, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
Aaron took me to the Little Mermaid ride.
Yeah. And I hadn't been on it. I didn't know what it was like.
Yeah.
So as we're on the ride,
It's a clamshell.
Jessica's grumpy
Grumpy pants.
I don't like this. And then just like as soon as the music starts, I turn and she's singing all the lyrics.
Yep,
And I saw
all
you
of
turn
them.
into a little 7-year-old girl.
Yes.
It was magical.
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, they gotcha.
Yeah.
They
See,
gotcha.
I wasn't even going to go on the ride because I was like, it's a
She's like,
clamshell,
under
whatever.
The sea, under the sea.
Yeah. I sang all of the songs. I didn't even know I was doing it. I sang all the songs.
And you had this huge smile on your face. And I was like, it works. And then
It
I was
worked.
like, you believe in Disney magic?
Yeah. After that, it was like, all right, I could see.
Yeah. So I do want to talk about how they create the magic, because the place creates kind of timelessness, which plays into the hauntedness. And if you're a ghost, what better place to spend all of eternity than the happiest place on earth? I mean, if I was a ghost, I might think about going there. When you walk in, it's like right from the get-go. I learned this recently. I didn't know this, but they like actually pump in smells on Main Street USA.
Oh,
Did you know about this?
I thought so. You know what? I thought you told me this, but must not have been. Or maybe it was your stepdad.
Yeah, my dad is a huge Disney fan.
Yes, yeah. I thought something like that. Like it makes you want to go and like buy all the food
And purchase makes you want to purchase. Well, I mean, that's one aspect of it, but
Yeah.
also it also puts you at ease. So I don't know exactly. I asked Mark, my stepdad, what the smell was, and he said it was chocolate chip cookies.
Cookies, yeah.
And then I've also read that
That's nice.
at one point it was vanilla.
I mean, which is similar to chocolate chip
specifically
cookies.
as a kid, that funnel cake smell. And
Oh,
I might
yeah.
be misremembering that. Like
Yeah.
it was that kind of like carnival funnel cake smell. And then when you get close to where they sell popcorn, it's popcorn smell.
Yeah.
So they're already creating an like olfactory experience for you,
Right.
which puts you in a mindset that like, oh, you know, it's fun, it's part of the
It's
atmosphere,
nice.
and it's actually like the smells are actually more powerful than the stuff that they're cooking. Like
Sure.
the popcorn doesn't make the popcorn smell that big.
Right.
So okay, so that's just one thing. Another thing is there's they use forced perspective on Main Street, where on the ground level things are taller and bigger, and as it goes up to the next story, things get smaller and shorter. And so, like, the buildings are actually built with forced perspective to make it feel
Bigger or
grander. Yeah,
okay.
grander. And also, it's leading your eye as you go down the street towards the castle. And then the castle is forced perspective as well, where it creates this, like, majestic-looking thing, even though it's not that big.
Yeah.
That's a second thing. So you have the smells, you have
Now
the forced
I'm
perspective.
picturing back, yeah.
And then you also
can see
have all of the paths are engineered to kind of gently guide you, so you keep moving and it keeps moving the eye. And all of these things are weenies. I said the same thing. I was like, weenie? What? Like a what? ChatGPT told me this, and I was
Wait,
like,
are we talking about hot dog?
And I said, excuse me?
Or are we talking about the wiener
I said,
dog?
Excuse me, ChatGPT, what did you just tell me? Did you just say weenies? And it said, I was like, can you please explain that? And it said, well, Walt, it's a term that Walt came up himself, and he had a wonderful sense of humor.
Did he?
And he said,
Okay.
let me explain.
Okay.
So Walt said, if you have a dog and you want the dog to go somewhere, you put a weenie in front of its nose, and it will go where you put the weenie. So the whole park is built
a weenie carrot.
on the principle of the dangling weenie.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that. So I thought that was a cool, fun little fact.
Yeah.
And so the park itself is created on all of these illusions, and this is just like one facet of Disney magic. Another thing is, like, when you go from land to land, it's thematically consistent. So, like, if you're in Tomorrowland, it's thematically futuristic until you go down the gently guided path and you make the turn into Fantasyland, and then the whole aesthetic changes to Fantasyland. But you can't see from certain angles. So each little section of the park is its own contained world.
Right.
And that's yet another way that the magic is created to guide and curate your experience.
Okay.
So I'm sure our listeners are going, when are you going to get to the ghost and the haunted part? I'll just start with the story that most people know, that like in Disneyland, Walt, he had to be there all the time to make decisions. So they built him a little apartment. And it's on Main Street above the firehouse.
And this is Disney World.
This is Disneyland. His wife was the one that, like, decorated it, and it's all decked out in her favorite color, cranberry red.
Wow.
Lillian Disney. So
Intense.
there is a story that after Walt died, he died... I think he died in like 66. But anyway, a cleaner that was cleaning up the place, and he had a little lamp that's in the window, and they, as a signal to the staff there, they would turn the light on when he was in residence.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so
so they
everybody
would know.
knew he was there.
Be on
and-
your best behavior.
Be on your best behavior. And so the housekeeper went up and was cleaning that area up, and she went and turned the lamp off, and then she went downstairs and then came out and the lamp was on.
Oh.
And she was like, oh, that's weird. So she was like, oh, I forgot to turn the lamp off. So she went back upstairs, turned the lamp off, and came back down, and the lamp was on again. And there's one version of the story that she went up there, and she heard a voice say, I'm still here. And, of course, completely freaked her out. And I don't know if that's true or if that's just urban legend. And so now they just leave the lamp on. They're just like, we're not going to mess with that.
They just leave it on.
They leave it on at all times, and I think you can take a tour of the place. Oh, this is how cool Walt was. The apartment has a little fire pole.
Oh, yeah,
and he used to, like, in the morning, you get dressed and like slide down the pole like a little kid. Anyway, they had to close that off because guests in the 60s were climbing up it and getting in his apartment.
Oh,
I don't know, super
there you
fans.
go. Yeah.
So. That's kind of the story. I think when people hear a haunted Disney, I think that's
think
the
of the
one
light.
story that comes. Yeah, is
and this was in the 60s that this happened.
Yes.
It just makes me think of like faulty
faulty wiring.
wiring. Yeah, but all right.
Yeah.
Also,
and then-
I'm just like, okay, yeah. Like, I hope he was able to move on and not just hang out.
Well, I mean, if you
in
built
his
the place,
apartment.
wouldn't you want to just like see how it evolves and stuff?
Sure.
Okay, so there's a secondary story. It had a little patio like off to the back, I think. And Walt used to go out on the patio and smoke there because I think he smoked cigars and he smoked cigarettes. And people say to this day that they can smell cigarette smoke, and cigarette smoking is completely not allowed in the park.
You can't.
And so cast members have been smelled smoke, and then they go try to track down who's smoking, and it leads them to that little area, and then they don't see anybody, they don't see any smoke.
That's interesting.
One scientific explanation could be that I think there's wood on the patio, and that wood can absorb smoke smell. And so
Right.
if he went out there every day for a decade and smoked, that the wood could have absorbed some cigarette smell, and whenever it rains, it would release some of that smoke smell,
True.
and so that could be it. you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. However, is it still the original patio
I
and
think
wood?
so,
You know? Yeah.
So that's one story. So I'm gonna move on to we'll just kind of do a little sample platter of stories.
Okay.
So we're gonna move on to the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. This one's kind of interesting. This one is kind of a mixture of like myth mixed with ghost story, and you can't really suss out like what the truth is. These are all like folktale, urban legend kind of things.
Do you know which park?
Most of this is Disneyland.
Oh.
Because I think Disney World was done in like 72 or something. I mean, there's stories at Disney World too.
Okay.
But I'll get to the Pirates of the Caribbean, the original one.
Yeah.
So the story goes that there was a construction worker that died while working on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh.
Like he was up on some rafters and he fell and died, and that he haunts the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. And his name was George. And so there is a tradition that every day when the workers come to turn on all the machines and get the ride going, that they have to acknowledge
say, "Hey, George."
They have to say, "Good morning, George," over the little loudspeaker system, like, you know.
Yeah.
And then in the evening they have to say,
Good night.
Or good night, George. And if they don't do that,
yeah.
then the ride will malfunction all day long. Like they'll have all
Really?
kinds of shenanigans will happen.
Wow.
Like sensors will go off for no reason. And
I
so-
totally want to test that. Let's not say good morning and see what happens.
Also, the rumor goes that if you are a very skeptical
Yeah.
person and you're on the ride and you say, "I don't believe in George is a bunch of crap," then the ride will break down. So, I'm not gonna. I'll let you test that because I'll be out eating a Dole Whip, and you can be in there stuck on the ride because I don't want to be stuck on the ride.
That's true.
You can test that on you.
Like, I have heard people have had to get off that ride, and there is water.
Yes, yeah.
So-
So you can test that on your own. I'll be enjoying a nice Dole Whip.
I don't know. Okay. I mean, I think that's a nice story, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, and so this is an actual fact that the original ride in the 60s when they were making it, they went to UCLA and purchased some medical skeletons because
gross.
they didn't think the state of
They used
They used real skeletons in the ride, and supposedly, I don't know if this is true, there's still a real skull on the ride, and it's there's the scene where you go by. There's a bed. I don't know if it's the treasure room, but the headboard, there's a skull embedded into the headboard,
Right.
and that is a real skull. And then some people say, "Oh, that's the skull of George," which doesn't make any sense because why? That doesn't make any sense. But I do know that for a fact that, and they used like bits and pieces of real skeletons, like some of the rib bones and I think the skeletons that's driving the ghost ship where it's like lashed to the wheel, that some people say that has actual bones in it still. And then other people say that Disney thought that was not very PC and that they got rid of all that stuff. And you know,
Who
because
made
it's
that
kind of,
decision to get real
well, I mean, it was the
skeletons?
60s, and I guess the state of the art in terms of like special effects, they couldn't get it looking real enough, so they were just like, and if you could purchase a medical skeleton, I don't think anybody thought of it. Nobody, you know, it's one of those things. I mean, you can't judge people in the past based on our modern, you know, ideas of
Sure,
what's
we
right
can.
and wrong.
We can judge.
I
No,
mean-
I get your point.
No, but you know,
I
they
know
didn't
your
think
point,
anything
yeah.
was wrong. They didn't think they were doing anything wrong.
That's fine in terms of ethics, like, because these people probably donated their body to science and then they're part of a Disney ride.
Yeah. So that's the Pirates of the Caribbean one.
I don't know if there would still be a real skull there. I think that's just...
I don't know. Well, I'm kind of telling you the folk tales that I've come across here. Okay, and then there's another one. This one's kind of fun. Space Mountain has a resident ghost called Mr. One Way.
One Way?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I like the descriptions of Mr. One Way because it reminds me of that IT Crowd episode where the guy makes up a description. He's like, redheaded bearded man with glasses, you know. So I've heard that he's a redheaded guy with freckles, and he looks like he's kind of dated looking, like he's from the 60s or the 70s, even though like you see him in modern times. I don't know. But apparently this guy will stand in line with you. And you chat with him just kind of as you do sometimes with people, you know, you're just like, how's it going? Like, oh, get those churros. Those churros are great. And he'll be like, oh, yeah, I'd like to try the churro or whatever. And then and it's only if you're in the single rider line. So like, not if you're with a group, you have to be by yourself. And then you make your way up to the front and then get in the little rocket ship, which is kind of put in a linear way. Like it's one person per slot.
Yeah.
And then he gets in behind you. They put him in behind you. And then you ride the ride. And then right after the camera flashes, he's gone. Like you can look back and he's gone. You get off the ride, he's gone. He does not stay the whole ride.
What?
Yeah, weird,
What?
right?
I like so because you would think that the staff, right, that will, the person who says go in the seat or whatever would recognize him.
I don't know. Well, I mean, would you notice if it's just a person? And then like if you're not the guy, like I don't think they have the same people like getting you in and out like at the beginning and the end.
That's very strange because then at the end, then there isn't anybody there. Wouldn't you be like, hey, why didn't you put somebody in seat 3 or whatever? I don't know. And if it's a regular thing, and if this is a ghost, that they are strong enough energy wise to stand in line for probably not hours because
So
it's single.
the ghosts can only stand for a certain amount of time.
No, but
like, this line is too long. I'm evaporating. Poof.
Right. Yeah. And have the energy to talk.
I don't know. Well, that's the urban
there
legend.
but they're never in the picture with the flash.
I don't think so. I don't think so. However, there are some rides. I think there's the Winnie the Pooh ride. This one's like super haunted apparently.
It used to be Toad and
No,
right?
you're thinking that's no. Oh, that is a Winnie the Pooh ride, but there's another Winnie the Pooh ride. That's Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. You're thinking of. There's one for smaller kids. It's over
anymore.
in like Frontierland. I think.
Are you saying the small kid Winnie the Pooh ride is haunted?
Yeah, and guess who it's haunted by?
A small child.
A grandma.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
not
they
as creepy.
they see an elderly lady walking around through the ride, and they also see her on the monitors. And it's a problem because they have to stop the ride every time they think they see a person.
Right.
And they always think they see an elderly woman on walking through the ride or like
on the tracks of the ride?
I think so, yeah, like on the
Wow.
tracks, and they see her on the monitor, and they have to shut it down. So this one gets shut down lots of times, and it's like
Wow.
a very notorious one. Like it's probably the most active one through all the stories that I came across. This one said it was like the most active that you see this.
I
grandma.
wonder if like patrons ever see it because that sounds like
It sounds like
whoever's-
mostly the staff because
Yeah.
they're looking at the monitors, and
Right.
they see it on the
and
monitors.
they see her.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I wonder what I mean. Jeez.
Yeah, that one's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then there's this sad one. This is actually a factual one. This really happened,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to say the person's name because I think it's saying their name. They were more than just this incident, right?
Uh-huh.
So if you're interested, you can go look this person up. But in 1974, there was a young girl who started. She was 18 years old. I think it was her first week or two working at the park, and it was this ride called America Sings. And,
okay.
Which I think later became Carousel of Progress. Which used to be one of my favorite rides. It's
Yeah.
that thing that spins around, and it's like
It's so funny. That's your favorite ride.
was
It must have been because it was so cool in there.
I thought it
and
was
when
neat.
You,
I thought it was yeah. The air conditioning is great.
Yeah.
So in the Florida heat, it's the coolest ride to be on.
Right.
But I just thought it was so neat the way. Did you go on that one where it rotates around?
I did.
Okay, I don't think
Because
it's there anymore. Oh, I made you go on it.
Yeah.
I was
No,
like-
it's still there.
I was like, this is the coolest ride. And you're like, whatever, dude. I love that one. So anyway, when it was America Sings, it still had the rotating thing where it went around, but apparently they didn't have any safety features in place, and she fell in between the walls, and as it turned, she got crushed.
Oh my gosh.
And somebody heard a scream.
Yeah.
I think the guests thought it was part of the show somehow, and so
Sure.
nobody stopped it until
Right.
it was way too late, and she got crushed in the ride. Horrible, and at 18, and was just like instantly killed. And so now
my
the story
gosh.
goes that
That's-
some cast members will, if they're too close to the wall, they'll hear a woman's voice say, "Be careful."
Oh.
Yeah, I was like,
Wow.
Be careful. You know, which is like a kind ghost.
It is a kind ghost, but I just feel so bad for her
Yeah, it's tragic.
Yeah. It also makes me think she's on a loop or something. You know, if
there's
she's
lots
there.
of tragic stories of people dying, but not really ghost related stuff. And some
I wonder
people,
about that grandma. Like, how is she there?
I don't know. But I'm not really gonna go into just like a litany of tragic deaths. Like I'm
Right.
trying to stick to the more haunted things, because you could make a whole episode on just like, and this person died tragically, and they're all accidents. It's just like just horrible, weird probability happenstance.
Sure. I mean,
things.
it's a huge park.
Yeah.
Oh, well, and if we're talking about Disney World, I mean, it's
Yeah,
It's
I'll
a
do
town.
one more like kind of sad, awful one, and then I'll take it back into like better territory. So the other one, this one's creepy, is the Tom Sawyer Island, which
yeah, it wasn't there when I
yeah, I think they changed it into something else.
Yeah.
But back in the day, like when the park opened, it was supposed to illustrate kind of like the rawness of America, like, you know, during the westward expansion and stuff. And they had many different iterations. I think there was like, they used to have a cabin that was on fire, and the original one was that's like it had been raided by Native Americans or something, and that was kind of offensive. So then they changed it to like a moonshiner that accidentally set his place on fire, and he was drunk. And then as we moved through time, that became a little offensive. So then they changed it. I think they got rid of the burning cabin one. But anyway, so in the it was either the 60s or the 70s, these two young boys who were brothers, one was 18 and one was 10, decided to hide in the park and do like the old overnight thing where they hid from the staff.
Where are the parents?
I don't know. I don't know about that, but they successfully hid in the little caverns in the park, and they made it until after closing, and then they went and had a little heyday and ran around on Tom Sawyer Island, just doing whatever they wanted to. The what?
Alligators?
No, this is in Anaheim, so this is not Florida.
Okay.
Unless they were visiting from Florida, I don't think there were any Anaheim alligators at the time.
Yeah.
So anyway, so the story goes, these two boys, one could swim, one couldn't swim. The younger one couldn't swim, and they decided they were going to get off the island. And there's no way to get off because you had to get there by boat.
Yeah.
And so they decided to swim across what's called the rivers of America.
Including this kid who doesn't know how to swim.
Yeah, and so the older brother like had him hang on to his neck
back.
and put on his back, which I've done that with Fox Mulder in a pool, and like it works just fine.
Yeah.
So I think what happened was there's a cross current that goes through the river, and I don't know if it's like a man-made cross current that keeps the boats like going through.
Sure.
But apparently it's very strong, and this 18-year-old kid got stuck in the cross current, and he couldn't make it across, and he got tired and he drowned, and he just kind of started going under, and so the poor 10-year-old kid was on his back, and his older brother sunk down, and then he could dog pedal enough to stay afloat, and he was screaming at the top of his lungs, and then thankfully some park person heard him, and this is like at 9 p.m. 10 p.m. at night, and they got the kid out, but they couldn't find the brother, and it's dark at this point, and so they had to wait till the next day to find him and get his body and stuff. So
oh my gosh,
yeah, it's tragic.
That is
it's
tragic.
horrible. And so yeah, kids, don't go. Nobody try to swim across that thing. Don't. This is a cautionary tale.
Oh,
don't try to swim across the line. Don't try to stay in the park after dark.
And don't like run away from your parents in the.
So the
park.
ghosty part is that people will say that they can see like shadow figures in the water sometimes. Like if they're just kind of gazing out at the river, they think they see what looks like a person in the.
I wonder like what time of day. If it's in the evening, like sure you're gonna see stuff in the water because it's like dark.
Yeah. So I don't know about that one. There's another
that's really
one.
Sad, or maybe the older brother was taking him there on it because if he's 18, you know, like maybe there weren't any parents.
Oh,
that's sad.
Yeah, that's a sad one. This one's not so much sad, but it's just kind of weird. So in Epcot in Disney World, there's a ride called Mission Space. I don't know if you've been on this one.
I don't think so.
I don't like it because I'm a wuss and I don't like it. So like originally it's supposed to simulate that you going into space, and you get in this capsule and it spins around and it puts G-forces on you.
Oh no.
And the original one apparently was so intense that people would like vomit all over the place, and it made people sick. And so they created two versions of the ride.
No.
And
just hearing that, I'm like,
So there's one that just is the light version, and then there's the OG one which like spins really hard and puts G-forces on you. So apparently the staff report that there's a little boy ghost that likes to go, I think it's on like pod 3, and the little boy will cause malfunctions on the ride as for fun. Like there's like little sensors. Yeah, like he gets a kick out of it. And people have seen like a little like ghost image of a boy out of the corner of their eye, and then as soon as they see that, then they start getting these sensor malfunctions on the ride,
and then it
stops the ride.
Sure.
And so I heard an interview with a cast member on YouTube, and they said that they actually went in and said to the ghost, like, hey, apparently a lot of the boy ghosts are called Timmy for some reason.
Hey,
I don't
Timmy.
know. Like everybody, like there's all these stories of little boy ghosts, and they're all called Timmy. So just when in doubt, call the little boy ghost Timmy. And they're like, so Timmy,
You're there.
she said, hey, a lot of people are waiting to ride this ride, and they waited a really long time. And they want to enjoy it as much as you do. And the ghost was like, okay, deal. They're like, bet, and they, and then the ride worked perfectly after that for the rest of the day.
Did you say bet?
Yeah, I said bet. I'm trying to be hip, man. trying to get the lingo of the kids.
I don't even know what that means.
It's like, yeah, for real.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm not gonna go to my Gen Z lexicon, but
That's
I'm
the one I
practicing.
know.
I'm practicing. I'm trying to stay hip. Trying to stay with it.
So then he fixed the malfunction.
Yeah, and
I mean, that's a smart 10-year-old ghost or whatever, little boy ghost.
I do notice the similarities between that one and the Pirates of the Caribbean one, where they have to acknowledge the George ghost. It's kind of a similar pattern. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's also like respectful, I suppose, right?
Yeah. And so, okay, moving on, we have It's a Small World.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I like It's a Small World.
Yeah. It just goes on forever and ever. But they recently updated it.
Yeah. And then, like, for me, it's nostalgic because I remember still have the image of it as going through it as a kid.
Yeah.
And I could see it as an adult
Well,
and
our
as a
kid was just like, oh my gosh.
He's like, this is so stupid.
When is it going to end?
Oh my God.
Why do they keep singing the same thing?
Yeah, he's like, they don't even move that much. So apparently the cast members.
And he was like 5 at the time. He wasn't even like.
Little critics. He's like, is this it? I mean, in 1960s, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Right?
Which I think was what we said to him. And
He's like, not having it. He's like, this ride sucks. But I like it. But it is nostalgic. So cast members say that they at night when the ride is turned off, they will see the little dolls move.
No.
Yeah, and they'll hear laughter, like.
That is creepy. Ew, that's
I know.
creepy.
That's a creepy one, right?
They just haven't turned it off.
No, it's off. Apparently, one of the most haunted places in all of Disney World is in Mickey's Toontown. Mickey's house. There's a basement. I don't think you're allowed to go in the basement.
No.
Which like, why does Mickey's house have a basement? But anyway,
Have I seen? I don't know if I've seen this.
I think it was closed or we didn't go there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times it'll be closed.
Yeah,
and
that
so I
area.
just don't go there. I mean, maybe with Fox Mulder, we would take him there, but now he's too old. He wouldn't be interested.
Yeah, but when we went with him,
We went on that Goofy roller coaster like a million times with him.
that's true.
He loved that
But
thing.
a lot of Toontown was closed when
Yeah.
we went there. That's what it's called, right? Toontown.
Yeah, Toontown.
Mm-hmm.
Or all the stuff was shut down. I don't know. So anyway, Mickey's house apparently has a basement, and people hear voices down there.
Oh.
Like,
Well, can you hear people from up above?
when
you're down there?
That's a good point. That it could just be like transference of sound or
Right.
something. However,
Yeah.
there's a mirror down there, and they see shadow people in the mirror.
Oh.
So
Why is there a
explain
mirror
that
down
one, Encyclopedia Brown. Yeah, put your murder podcast mind on that one.
Yeah. No, I do think like whatever the lighting is.
You got nothing.
Yeah,
you got nothing.
No, but why is there a mirror down there? Like, what is this basement?
So you can make sure your outfit is good before you go out. Like as a cast member, they have mirrors
that's
placed.
why it's
they have mirrors placed.
why. Oh, okay.
Even Walt had a mirror placed in his little apartment so he could make sure his tie was all straight before he went down the little fire pole. Like whoop, you know, he's all prepared.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Oh, and then people have also witnessed things moving, like on their own accord, like
objects moving.
like being moved, and then doors and opening and closing of their own accord.
I wonder what happened there before for that to be happening.
Here's my theory.
Yeah.
I think a little kid, probably Mickey's Toontown, Mickey's house. If
Yeah.
you're gonna be a ghost, you want to live at Mickey's house,
Sure.
right? So like that's what's going on there. That's what I think. That's my theory. And then let's see what else we got. We have to get to the piece de resistance, the Haunted Mansion.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the
I like
Haunted
that one.
Mansion has all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
so,
we've gone on that one even when it's Sally and Jack.
Yeah,
and then
when they have it themed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the
original.
Nightmare Before Christmas. No, I like the Nightmare
Oh,
Before
did
Christmas.
you?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but their original. I like all the
I do too.
the variations of it. So I'll just tell you some fun facts about this one before I get into the ghosty stuff.
Okay.
So I guess in the late 60s, or let's see, it opened after 66 because Walt never got to see it finished. Some Dopey Dope decided to bring either a BB gun or like a 22 or something to the Haunted Mansion.
Oh,
and there is a
sure.
bullet hole in the glass in the scene where everyone's dancing at the little banquet
Really?
scene. Yeah, some moron decided
And it's
it would
still
be-
there?
So it's still there because it's one giant piece of glass. And so it would be very problematic for them to try to replace that whole piece of glass.
Well,
and
the
it's
whole
so-
thing didn't shatter, though.
No, it didn't shatter. So it's high quality Disney glass apparently.
And just one.
So some
Well, now I want to look
moron,
for it.
and it's right in front of where the guys are dueling. The ghosts are dueling, so they think that like some doofus was like, I'm gonna shoot my gun. So yeah, don't do that, people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't have them now because there's so much security.
It made a
but-
tiny little bullet hole in the glass,
Yeah.
and for them to fix it, they'd have to like cut a hole in the roof or cut a hole in the wall because it's one continuous piece of glass. It would be a massive reconstruction for them to put a new piece of glass in there. So the way they solved it is they put a little rubber spider over the hole.
Oh.
And so when you go through the ride, you can look for it. It's kind of hard to see because it's only like the size of like a quarter or something.
Right, and
there's a little
and
rubber
it depends
spider.
on like where you stop to watch. You know what I mean? Like because
Yeah,
you go through.
Well, I don't think you stop. I think it's a continuous. It goes slow, but I think you keep moving.
Oh, I thought you. Oh
the dune
no,
buggy?
yeah, no, you're right. No, because I was thinking like the clamshell like shifts so that you can see them all dancing.
Yeah,
and then
but
you
it never
just keep
stops
going.
unless
Yeah,
the
you're
ride
right.
is broken down or whatever.
Okay.
Okay, so circling back to your thing about
Oh, yeah.
people. So this is like a hotspot for people spreading the ashes.
You're not supposed to do that.
No, and I
They
wanna,
don't want you doing that.
Public
Nobody
service
wants you
announcement,
to do that.
Don't put ashes of your loved one on the ride. That's just terrible.
they do-
Don't do it. Not
just-
worth it. And okay, so
It's not hygienic. Either.
they have a code. I think it's like code HEPA, which means they need this little dustbuster.
Oh, so it is a vacuum.
Yeah.
You know, and then I just think like, okay, good. That's fine that they're supposed to do that, right?
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But the lack of respect of the family member
Yeah.
putting their loved one's
Yeah,
ashes
here's
there, knowing it has to get cleaned up.
Yeah. So anybody thinking about dumping your
Don't do that.
your Meemaw's ashes or whoever's ashes on the ride, they get vacuumed up and they probably dump it in
They
the
just
trash.
dump it,
So
right.
Meemaw's gonna end up in the Orlando landfill somewhere. So
Yeah.
if you want Meemaw, just cut out the middleman and go dump her in the Orlando
Right,
landfill.
right. Don't
So,
do it.
You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, I personally experienced this.
No.
Yes, when I was like-
I don't know this.
Yeah, when I was like, well, I didn't know until I read about this what it was.
Oh,
but
it's a new story of
I was
Aaron's
horrified.
past
Yes.
that I don't know.
I
Okay.
was horrified. So I
When
was
you
like
found out.
11 or 12. And I remember going with my cousins, and I was in my own doom buggy by myself.
Oh, okay.
And I reached
is rare.
back to where the other person would sit, and I put my hand in what I thought was sand, and I was like, "What the hell?" It was like gritty and dusty, and I was like, "How did it?" And I kind of enjoyed the ride and didn't think too much about it. But then when I got at the end, I said to the lady, "Hey, there's like sand all over that doom buggy," and the look on her face was like, and then she grabbed this little dustbuster thing. This is probably in the 90s.
Yeah.
And she grabbed this, ran over there and was like vacuuming it up. And so
No.
looking back,
Yeah.
that has got to be what it was. And I had it all over my hand.
I hope you washed your hands.
Yeah, and it's not a biohazard. I looked it up.
Oh,
'Cause
did you?
It's just basically like bone dust.
Oh.
I know. But I touched a dead body. Oh God. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I had it all over my hand. I went and washed my hand, but it was like it felt like dusty sand. So that happened to me. That happened to me.
Wow.
Totally happened to me.
And they hadn't caught it because whoever was in there before you did it.
Yeah. Apparently, there's no real statistics on it, but I've heard it's a monthly thing. And then there have been rumors that people said there's so many
Specifically
dumps in there that you'd be shocked. Like it happens so often, so frequently. And the place has been open since the 70s, so that's
And
think
it's
of how many-
usually the Haunted Mansion.
yeah, because people are idiots. Don't do it. Don't do it.
There's ghosts here. We should put.
Yeah, I don't know. Highbrow thinking. Okay, so I will get to the actual.
I mean,
actual ghosts.
okay.
So
yeah.
there's another little ghost boy on this ride.
on.
Let's go. And his name's Timmy.
Oh,
I
of
mean,
course
why
it is.
wouldn't it be?
Right.
So Timmy, we have two versions of Timmy.
Okay.
One version is he's a super happy boy. He's just loving it.
Sure.
He's like enjoying his afterlife. He's in the greatest place in the world.
Yeah.
There's another version that he's sad and that he's looking for his mom.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's like he's at the exit and he's like, "Where's my mom?
No.
Where's my mom?" And then people will
Aw.
go, "Can I help you?" And he'll be like, "Disappear."
Oh.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's...
there's that version. There is a story of people feeling their hair pulled. Or someone putting a hand on their shoulder as they're going in. No. Nope. Putting a hand on their shoulder as they go into the building.
Man. Don't touch me.
Yeah. Handsy ghosts.
Handsy, yeah.
Don't want no handsy ghosts.
Don't be touching me and pulling hair.
This one, I love this one. So one of the girls that worked there was, you know, their costumes are like the long dresses and they're black and they kind of look like they got the frilly maid thing or whatever.
Yeah.
So this girl felt someone tugging, like a little kid tugging on her dress, and she turned around and there's nobody there, but she saw these little white handprints all over her dress where it had been tugging her.
Oh.
Ooh, yeah.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
And also kind of thrilling.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a really weird one. So people after hours say, I don't know if they run the ride to check it for safety, but they run it. I guess they run it one more time, and they see the ghost of this 1940s pilot. He's in a pilot uniform.
Wow.
And he's on the ride, and he is very stoic looking, and he's not making eye contact with anybody. And I think they also have seen him walking because he has a cane. He's called the man with the cane. He's dressed up like a 1940s pilot, so I don't know if that means he has little goggles on.
Right, that's what I'm
like
thinking.
That little football helmet thing.
Right.
And so he rides the ride, and some people say that he'll just disappear, like he'll be on the monitor or whatever, and they go and check and he's gone, or they'll see him and then they go to say something and then they look in the doom buggy and he's not there.
No one's there.
There is another story that he's kind of threatening.
Oh.
That if you go and bother him while he's on the ride, that he'll yell. He'll go, ah, and then he'll disappear. I don't know. That one's a little extreme.
Well,
but,
and also like rude.
Yeah. And then he also
Like,
there's
what the
also
heck?
an explanation for why he's in a pilot outfit. So apparently before Disneyland was there was an airstrip there. And
Okay.
I didn't verify this. I didn't go into the historical record and say, oh yes, let me get the maps from Orlando and see if there was an airstrip.
Oh, Disney World then.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Disney World. Sorry,
Okay.
Wait, jumping back and forth across the country. So I know that there was like tons of orange fields down there.
Yeah.
And that there was some kind
Maybe
of
he was one of those dust.
Oh, crop duster? that thing that I do, the dust cropping?
Exactly.
That's
I
only if
always
we're
get
walking
it-
around Macy's or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. I'm like, I always say it backwards. What is it? Dust cropping? No.
Crop dusting.
Dusting.
Completely
Yeah, yeah.
different thing.
Yeah.
That's only if I'm in a library or at a Macy's.
Keep walking.
When nobody's around.
Yeah, keep walking.
So
yeah.
apparently
No,
there was
but
an
maybe-
airfield.
uh-huh.
Back on track.
That's what I'm
Being an
saying.
adult.
No, I'm saying maybe that's for real. Like
Completely derailed us by the crop dusting.
Well, he could have, right?
Yeah. Can ghosts crop dust? I don't know.
No, I mean when he
Probably
was alive,
smells awful.
He was okay.
Like old vegetables.
Like
Said,
that he was
somebody
a pilot.
cooking broccoli in a microwave? Like, what's going on?
He was a pilot.
Yeah.
There were oranges.
Yes. So
I don't know.
Apparently he was some kind of experimental test pilot, and he crashed a plane right where the Haunted Mansion is.
Oh.
And I think there was a lake there.
Huh.
And he either crashed the plane and into the ground, or he fell
Well, no
into
wonder
a lake
he's
and,
a little
and drowned.
A little rude because he's like, all these kids around, and they're like, you know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's that one. And what do you think about that one? Do you think that one's a little far-fetched, or?
I mean, you know, it depends on your viewpoint of ghosts. Because on one hand, they are all far-fetched.
Yes.
On the other hand, why not?
Yeah. So this park, every night it resets. It's in perpetual. It's almost like being trapped in amber, and I think this is why ghosts and haunted stories stick to this place. I think this is why it has a magical feeling for everyone, because this is a place that's trapped in time. It's timeless.
Yeah.
And I think that's how the magic operates. Like when my stepdad, the very first time he went into the park, he just, I saw him turn into a child, like instantly.
Oh, were you there the first time he ever went? Oh.
Yeah. It hit him like a wave, and it was I was like, whoa, what's happening? He just like turned into a child. And it was such a neat thing to see.
And he's
I
still
think
a
that he
super
always
fan.
has that feeling. And it's because it changes. Like they'll put new rides and stuff in, but it stays the same. And like we witnessed the reset one night. I think the first time we were there for the Not So Scary Halloween. Yeah, we were there at I think it was after midnight, and they let the cleaning crew come out. And I had never seen this before, and they came in like locusts, and there was like I remember there being like 10 or 15 people.
There were a lot of them.
And they came. We were on the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad roller coaster ride, and these people came out with these little scrub brushes, and they scrubbed every inch of this thing like super fast.
Yeah, and the ground was wet because they had hoses and everything. I mean, they cleaned
just
everything.
Scoured this thing like locusts,
and pretty quickly.
And like
it was impressive.
It was amazing to watch.
It really was. Yeah, and then I was like, wow, this place is really clean. I like that.
Like every inch is completely scrubbed every single night. And yet it still remains the same. So I think it would be an attractive place if you were caught in some kind of weird afterlife where I guess you didn't go to heaven or something, you know, like I guess I'll just make my way down there as a ghost.
Right. Yeah. Well, I guess it depends on different theories of ghosts. Like if you are a believer, like are you caught in a loop, right? And it's like whatever that part of the spirit or whatever, right? Or the person is caught and they do the same thing repetitively.
Yeah. So it's more kind of like an emotional like echo loop or something
like an
that,
echo loop
and not an actual spirit or something.
And then there's the thought of, I'm not an expert or anything, I'm thinking like, well, did they die in that area in order to then have that loop, or can you die across the country, for example, like where we are, and can you
don't
end
need
up
to
over
bring
there?
the ashes, folks. Like,
right.
Just let the ghosts go there on their own.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is that possible?
No biohazards involved.
I don't know. And so, and then you have the intelligence, which sounds like this pilot, where sometimes he's a little moody,
but then
or
he
one of the
supposedly
Timmies
died on that location, so maybe it has some kind of like location based.
Yeah,
thing.
that's what I'm saying. Like
all the Timmies, you said.
Yeah, one of the Timmies, you know, the one with what was it? The spinny one, you know, the G-force one, where
Mission Space.
Yeah, he messes.
That was
with
his favorite ride, apparently.
Oh God.
Well, I mean, you're a little kid because it's you know, discombobulating.
Oh.
You enjoy it, and it's like sci-fi. It has like a little sci-fi place.
But my point is, he clearly has intelligence because like you could talk to him, and he's like, okay, I'll fix it, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, those are... I also have some fun stories that are not necessarily spooky, but they're just related to my experiences with Disney World. The Marshmallow Marsh that I mentioned in The Hook. My family used to go to the campground there. I don't know if a lot of people know that they have a campground, and it's actually like cheaper to stay at the campground. And so we could extend our time there. It was Fort Wilderness Campground, and we actually spent 2 weeks there when I was 16, which is like a really long time. And I basically had like full run of the place, you know, because my parents let me go off on my own. I went to Discovery Island, which is like this little island. People make a big deal out of this place. It was just like a little bird sanctuary kind of thing, and you have to take a boat to get there. And I went there at 16 by myself, and there was nobody there. It was just like completely like... I walked through the whole thing. It's like this little path, and you go and you see all these little birds in cages, and there's just all kinds of tropical birds, and it was nice. It was beautiful. It was kind of boring. I was like, eh. It did feel weird to be in the middle of like one of the most populated places, and then there's not. I didn't see a single cast member or anything.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, it was cool. But then this YouTuber guy, like recently, I think he got arrested. He went and swam to that island, which I don't know about alligators.
Is it closed down now?
Yeah, it's closed down. They closed
it
down
so
in like
swam.
1999 or something. And so this guy tried to do this expose, like Hidden Disney, and then he swam to the island, which is insanely dangerous because there's probably alligators and stuff around there.
I mean, yeah.
And then he did a little YouTube thing, and then he got arrested, which is like, don't do that, people. It's just stupid. Don't do it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's very dangerous. I mean, you hear it in the news, you know.
And so, so back to Marshmallow Marsh. This was. Actually, I think I was younger. Yeah, I think I was like 9 or something. That wasn't when I was 16, because Marshmallow Marsh, the campground, it was kind of different than it is now. It was much more like a homegrown feel, and they made my stepdad talks about it like it was paradise. He was like, "Oh, it was so homey." You know, they would say, you know, like "Welcome home" when you got there. He loved that place, and I think that's why we spent so much time there. So the cast members would organize these little adventure things, and somebody came up with this idea to do Marshmallow Marsh, and And what that entailed was they had these little canals that went through the campground, and we would get on a canoe and paddle through the canals, and then go to this place called Marshmallow Marsh, where we would have a campfire and eat marshmallows and tell ghost stories. So it turned into a disaster because these canals, there were a lot of canals. It was very long. And so it's Florida heat. It's at night.
Right.
We got bit up by mosquitoes real bad. And there was a mutiny on the canoe as we went there. This guy was like, because I remember there being like 6 people, like it was like 3
canoe?
adults, 3 kids per canoe. And my mom was on a different canoe because I remember it was my stepdad, this other guy's dad, and then a cast member and a bunch of kids. And we were trying to paddle, but the paddles were pretty heavy, and it was kind of like an adult job. So we got the cast member, my stepdad, and this other guy paddling for a whole canoe full of kids.
Right.
And the one guy was like, "This is stupid. I'm not doing this anymore." Because we were sweating just sitting there.
Right.
And I look at my
That
stepdad,
sounds like
and
you
he's just
today.
pouring sweat.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it looked like he had dunked in the water. And the cast member is gritting his teeth. And they're like, and we're not going very fast. We could have gotten out and walked along the shore faster. And we're basically paddling through, it was basically like mosquito homelands, right?
Oh,
and the
gosh.
mosquitoes are biting me on the face and stuff. And I have to hand it to my stepdad. He's a army vet, so he was
a trooper.
He knuckled down
Yeah.
and got the job done, right?
Right.
He didn't complain, and he's just paddling with the crew member or the cast member.
Head down
and
and
this
just,
other
like,
guy
doing it.
is like, "This is bullcrap. I'm not doing this." He's like, "I paid money for this," and he put his oar down and refused. He just sat there, crossed his arms.
Oh,
I was like,
no,
"I'm not doing nothing."
So
And
then
then
Mark had to do it? Oh,
he had
man.
to paddle even harder. And
Oh,
it took,
no.
I called him and asked him, and I was like, "How long did it take?" He was like, "It was like 30 to 45 minutes just one way." And so and he's like, and then we get to the campfire, and he's like, "I was just drenched in sweat." And he's like, "I didn't even want to be near the campfire." He's like,
Yeah.
So then we get there, and we did, I remember there was like a marshmallow eating contest where you try to stuff as many marshmallows as you can in your mouth. And then this guy just was throwing a fit the whole time. He's like, "I want to go back. I want my money back. I don't like this. This is stupid." And I think they had to get a little golf cart. Like they had to like bring a little cart to drive him home, him and his family home. And my stepdad and us, we got back in the canoe and we went back.
Oh,
And,
really?
yeah.
He did it again.
Yeah, and he
all the way
said
back.
it wasn't a fun time, but he did it anyway. And I was
Wow.
like, "Well, good on you. You're a trooper for getting
Yeah.
the job done."
Jeez.
America. He was Army strong, man. So that
Wow.
was the tale of Marshmallow Marsh.
I could see you saying things like that, like today.
I could see you being a brat.
No, but I don't think you would have like left.
No.
You know, but you totally, to me, not in front of Fox Mulder, but you would have been like, "We paid for this? How
Yeah.
much was this? Like, why?" You know.
I think they kind of overpromised, underdelivered on that
Yeah,
one, and,
yeah.
and it was real rustic. They didn't expect a real, true adventure experience, and
Wow.
and also you're on vacation. You don't want to
Right.
be like covered in sweat and get all bit up by bugs.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's the tale of Marshmallow Marsh and on Discovery Island. I wanted to throw that in as a little bonus, even though it's not a spooky story. So let's get into the analysis. What do you think about Haunted Disney? Do you think these stories hold water? Or
I think it's possible. I mean, why not?
yeah,
Right? I mean,
yeah,
on the other hand, like any ghost story, I kind of feel like I hope not, because I want them to move on,
Yeah.
right? But you know,
But what if that's their choice instead of like moving on? There, like little Timmy. That,
Yeah.
they said to the ghost, Timmy, what is your version of heaven? And he was like, being in Disney World every single day. And you were like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
go for it, dude.
Yeah, and then I also have the thought, like, if you are caught in a loop, but I'm not sure if I don't know how this works, but what I'm thinking about is if there's a piece of you, like an
Yeah.
echo versus like your whole you that
Okay.
moves on, but
Yeah.
then whatever that echo energy thing is
Yeah.
that then loops.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I
Then
did want to
it's-
say, I think the magic of the place does create this timelessness sense that when I go there, I know you don't experience this because you don't have the history with it, but when I go there, I can still see the echoes of me as a child
Yeah.
everywhere. And that's part of the warmth of the place is like, oh, I remember going there with all my cousins. And I remember all of us standing in line making jokes and just the joy that you have.
Yeah.
And I think that's an experience for most people. Like, and that's why people that are adults into Disney is because they can remember. I mean, there's the aspect that you can become the expert on the lore and the history, but then there's also also this weird. It's like one of the few places on Earth where you can go. And it's like your childhood still lived there, you know? And it's so clear and you can remember it so easily. Whereas like, I can't think of any other experience I have that's the same,
Oh, yeah.
you know? So I don't know. I think it's what, however they've created the place, it's created, an environment that is outside of time almost, you know?
Yeah.
And so maybe in that sense, it creates like a liminal space where people just project onto it ghostly things.
Maybe. I mean, but with that, there should be more.
More ghosts?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're gonna start having fast pass for ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually, the one that stands in line and talks.
Yeah.
That's
he must not
pretty
the line
extreme.
experience must be part of his joy.
Yeah, right? Because
You're
no.
like, nope. That's why
No.
that's why I was very careful for when I took Jessica there for the first time that I made sure we did the Not So Scary Halloween because I knew she would have a reaction to having to wait in line. I had to ease her in gently.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and let the Disney
But
magic
now-
work. And
now when
now you
we-
have a higher tolerance for standing in line, but
Not really, but
not really.
but you know, it's but now when we go back, I then remember the previous times that we were there versus when I was a kid
Yeah.
because I was 16 at Disneyland.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have, you
Yeah.
know, and then I went again at Disneyland one time on New Year's Eve and we saw the crowd. It was nuts.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
like
we're
shoulder
like,
to shoulder.
nope. So we turned around and left. So,
You know, I just thought of another aspect of it. Now that we have a kid and we take our kid there,
Yeah.
then we have memories of our kid there. We have
Right.
our own childhood memories, and then we also have a secondary like of our kid. And
Yeah.
that could be cool too. You know?
Yeah, because I went with a couple of or my best friend and a couple of good friends back in high school.
Yeah.
And I have some memories of that, but I
Yeah.
actually have more memories of just us hanging out and the
Yeah.
road trip and all that versus Disney itself. But now I have memories of us, our first time going there. We've gone a couple of times before
Yeah.
we had a kid.
We went there during COVID.
Yeah, that's true. We went to Disneyland
We
during
had to
COVID.
walk. They had the shuttles were shut down, so we had
Yeah.
to walk from the parking garage
Like a mile each way.
to the park and back.
Yeah, and
we
he was
logged
still-
like 13 miles in one day.
Yeah, or more. Yeah, Fox was still napping at the time, so we went multiple times to the
Yeah,
park.
we'd have to go in the morning, and then we have to come back and,
And then-
nap time, and then go back in the evening.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then I had this little Master Blaster carry thing. It was like this little.
Oh, yeah.
I like the thing. He was
Yeah.
old enough where he could stand, and I had this little backpack thing that had a little metal bar that he could stand on.
Yes,
and he
yeah.
could see over my head, and
Yeah.
it was great because it gave him something to look at while we were in line, so he's not looking at people's
Yeah,
knees.
and it wasn't like a baby sling.
And it was good
like
because the way it was balanced, it didn't hurt my back at all.
Right, right.
And
And
so I
he'd
get to carry
stand
him
on it.
around like Master Blaster
Yeah.
from Road Warrior.
Although he was like, I don't want to stand anymore, and so he'd want us to carry him. I'm like, no, dude, like
Yeah.
you got to stand.
Hurt
like,
my back trying to carry him.
Oh gosh. Anyway.
And then the whole stroller thing. You get the little army of strollers that you go put, you got to line up your stroller outside everything. There's like 90 strollers.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Disneyland is a little rough to navigate because it's a lot of stuff in a small amount of space, whereas Disney
Yeah.
World, everything's a little bit more spread out, which is
I think
nicer.
it's the same size. So.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's. I think anyway, but yeah, going back to the story, I mean, I think it maybe adds to the magic or the charm if there are, some spooky things,
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've come to the end of this episode. Do you want to plug our Patreon? We're getting a Patreon now. If you want to support us, we're going to have a $5 level. You'll get a cool sticker with our show logo. There's going to be more swag to come in the future. Eventually, we're going to build it out. But right
Yeah.
now, we're trying to build momentum.
building it up.
Tell your friend if you like our show. Tell your friends. Tell everybody to check it out and see if they like it and come help us build this show. Because
Also, with the Patreon, with the whatever levels we're gonna have, we also have reflections, which is
you get bonus content for
Yes.
sure, and that's like extra stuff about our thoughts afterwards. We try to take some time after we record an episode because these things kind of play in your head,
Percolate.
and then you have new ideas and new thoughts, and you're like, oh, I should have put that in there. So that's kind of
and
extra
that is
commentary.
unedited though, so there's lots of ums and whatnot.
And you get some random stories from me,
Yes,
that have
yeah.
nothing to do with the
nothing
thing at
to
all.
do with nothing. Yeah, both of us. And then it's more of a back and forth and we're just chatting.
So, but we're trying to build a community here and we'd like you to come join us.
Yeah,
and
it's fun.
Hopefully you'll enjoy it. And if you do, please give a like and subscribe and tell your friends.
Yeah,
But,
thank you all.
All right, so I think we're out on this one, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Yes.
And bye.
Bye.
They talk,